Hello guys and welcome to today's video. In this video we're going to be talking about Tropical Cyclone Gombe. That is now, it's been off of Madagascar for a little bit and now it's making its way towards Mozambique. And as you can see, some of the convection is not too far away from Mozambique here. So, you guys are going to start feeling impacts probably in the next 12 hours, and probably the minimal impacts from it. Like, rain showers and a little bit of gusty winds, but the main force of this is probably not going to be inside Mozambique until Friday. So you guys are going to be feeling a prolonged event probably, because it's probably going to slow down on its approach into Mozambique. So that's always a good, not a good sign, but a bad sign as we go forward. So here is the latest on Tropical Cyclone Gombe, and it's located at 15.1 south, 44.2 east. Maximum sustained winds are at 60 knots or 70 miles an hour. We are 5 knots away from being a hurricane equivalent cyclone. The minimal social pressure here is at 989 millibars. So that seems about right. Joint Typhoon Warning Center is on the ball with this update. So we will see what they say for, the cone and what have you. So right now, like I said, here at 18Z on the 9th, which is right now, it's at 60 knots. So they're on the ball. 60 on the 10th, 80 knots. And then they have it at peak of 100 knots, which is 115 miles per hour. So they're expecting Mozambique to get a major cyclone landfall, which is, bad news. Like I've been saying for weeks on end, Madagascar is a part of Africa. We know that. So, Africa has been getting hit time after time after time after time after time. And, you gotta feel for them at this point. And, some of the models have another feature here in the next couple of days that could not try to ramp up a little bit before once again hitting Madagascar. We'll take a look at that too, but obviously my main focus is on Gombe here for this, update. All right, so here is some of the global tracks here. And as you can see, the GEM is all kinds of messed up here. Squiggly lines, left, right, left, right, left, right, down, up, down, up, down, up, and then ends here at hour 2:40. What is this track? I'm assuming the spread one is the GFS, and it has it coming back down towards getting closer to Madagascar again. So you may have to watch this again, Madagascar, but it all just depends on how long it stays in Mozambique, before it comes back out, if it comes back out, like at all. Here is the GEFS tracks a minimal MSLP, and as you can see, we pretty much got a peak here of 977, but that's that's a little bit inland, so it could be a little bit stronger than that. I'm saying about maybe 974, 975, somewhere around there. As you can see, some of these tracks are oranges and reds, so it doesn't look like, it's going to be a pretty significant landfall, but these oranges and reds indicate anywhere from 990 to 970. So that's a category 2 at least. But right now, the Joint Typhoon Warning Center is predicting a category 3 as we go out through time. And you can see after it goes inland, it starts to move to the south again. So I'm assuming that there's a crack in the high pressure that is going to be allowing that to go down south as we go out through time. So here is the GEPS, and it's pretty much showing a similar thing, but weaker, way weaker than what the GEFS is showing. So we'll leave it at that. All right, so here is the, I think it's MFR. Yeah, MFR. and they predict 115 knot system out of this, and that's a category 4. So you know we Joint Typhoon Warning Center and MFR are not showing a pretty picture for Mozambique here. That's just the way of the world right now. And as you can see, once it gets up back out into the channel here, and on the 14th, it starts to strengthen again. So we're gonna have to see how this plays out going through time. All right, so here is the GFS, and right now this is initialized at 12Z, and it's 983 millibars. So let's go out 24 hours. Here's 960 something. I can't really see that rain because that number because of convection. It's not, the wind shear is definitely not suitable for this to strengthen all that quickly. But we'll find out soon that it's gonna strengthen more. Relative humidity is at 86%. So relative humidity is really good with this. So as you can see, this is right near landfall here. 949 millibars. That is a category 4, my friends. As you can see, 6 knots of shear. It weakened, the shear weakened from that point to allow this to ramp up to a high end Cat 3, low end Cat 4, equivalent cyclone. 6 knots, and the relative humidity is at 94%. So it's definitely got that going for it closer to landfall. And then, as you can see, it goes inside Mozambique, just meanders for a while, and then it goes back out into the channel, and then it starts strengthening again. And you're probably looking at this as like, why is this coming back towards Madagascar? Like, you guys can't ever catch a break or something. But this is still 5 days out. Anything can change. It probably will change. For all we know, we can do a zigzag and go back towards the coast of Africa once it gets back into the channel. And that's what the European is showing, which I will show here momentarily. So let's go back. We'll take a look at the precipitation amounts. And as you can see, yeah, that's not good at all. We're gonna go to 120 hours out, and that's not a pretty picture. We're going above the scale in some places, and this is definitely going to be a flooding event, a freshwater flooding event in Mozambique. I don't think there's any getting around that at this current point in time, because there's word going around that this could slow down substantially as it approaches land, and that's probably what the GFS here is showing, because it's got off the chart numbers here for rainfall totals. So we're just gonna have to see what happens with this. You hate to see it. The Southwest Indian Ocean has been active as hell this year, and with the westerlies continuing to be a thing in this area, that is just only going to increase the chances of another tropical cyclone in and around this area. But we'll worry about that when the time comes. Just be ready for a flooding event with this system. So let's go back again. We're gonna check something else out. We're gonna check the 10 meter. And as you can see, you can't really see it very well, but there's a whole bunch of different colors in there. And they're all representing of different, numbers here on the side. You can see these, 155, 80 knots, 46 knots. You can see all the colors in there. And I wish I had a close-up of this. Maybe there is a close-up. Hold on. Let me get it. Yeah, here's a close-up. This is better. As you can see, there are purples, and then there's lighter shades that are popping up here. So as you can see up top, right in here, I don't know if you can see my mark here, but right in there, it says this is peaking out at 97.3 knots. So that's a little lower than a major cyclone that is forecasted to go into Mozambique. and we're gonna go out through time. And as you can see, it starts to strengthen again once it gets out to the channel. So it pretty much shows the same thing as the normal GFS model, and that's that's scary. That's really scary. At this point in time, I don't think there's any way around Mozambique not getting a major cyclone, because not only does it have the warm sea surface temperatures, which we will go over later, but it also has the very high ocean heat content, and you know everything, and the waters are deep too. So that's going to be a factor going forward through time. All right, so here is the European, or the Ecmwf, and this was initialized at 12Z. You can see here it was at 996 millibars, but you guys know that, compared to this is off by 6 millibars here. So we're going to go out through time, 24 hours, and as you can see, 989 millibars. The Euro is definitely not as bullish with this system as the GFS or the Ecmwf, and we've all know that the European hasn't been completely sound with tropical systems, but that's the discussion for another day. As you can see here, shear is at 24 knots, which is hella bad for the storm, and the relative humidity is pretty good though, 82%. And as you can see, 39 hours it makes landfall as a 985 millibar system, which obviously this is underdoing it just a little bit. Maybe not a little bit, probably a decent amount. And as you can see, it meanders pretty much like a while here. And as you can see, it starts to make its exit at the hour 102 here. So that's all we're gonna go here with that. All right, so here is the last model we're going to take a look at. This is the Ecmwf, which is initialized at 12Z today. And as you can see, this is initialized at 992 millibars. So this is pretty all right. This is all right. As you can see, 24 hours, 965. So it strengthens pretty nicely at this point. Here we go. We got peak here at 938. I don't know if I can get soundings on that. 11 knots. Let's see if we can get a full picture. I don't know how this all works here with the Ecmwf. With the whole picture, it's only 14 knots of shear here, and relative humidity is at 88%. So this is decent enough for intensification purposes. So as you can see, it goes into Mozambique and just kind of dilly-dallies around and just dies out pretty much inside Mozambique. So with that being said, all the models I've just shown you guys all have a major landfall pretty much. I mean, sure, GFS says 97.4 or something like that, but we might as well call it a major hurricane because it's only 2 point something knot difference. There's no difference in that between that and a major cyclone. There's just not. So you're just gonna have to get ready for all the impacts, which I will talk about towards the end of this video. All right, so here is the sea surface temperatures for this system. And as you can see, we got some 29s, 30s, and even some 31s trying to creep up in here. So we got some rocket fuel for this system. And like I said, the ocean heat content is rich in this area, along with the heat at depth that it goes down to. So this is not going to have any short supply of rocket fuel for it to really explode into something before landfall in Mozambique, and that's just that's the sad, unfortunate news that I unfortunately have to share with you guys when I do these videos. You guys know that I tell you guys the truth. I don't clickbait. I try not to fearmonger because that's just not what I'm about. I'm about telling you guys the truth. I'm about telling the facts, and I'm about being honest. Even though all three of those things pretty much means the same thing. I'm an honest guy. So I have to tell it to you guys how it is, and right now it is not looking good for Mozambique with those sea surface temperatures of 29, 30, and 31. It's just not. So let's go over impacts. So Mozambique, you're definitely going to be feeling the very strong winds. That's a given. You're going to have very torrential downpours. That's probably going to last days in some areas. So you're going to have to be watching for flash flooding, freshwater flooding, and all of that, flooding stuff. Not to mention you got the storm surge on top of that, with the waves on even on top of that. So you're probably going to be looking at some decent storm surge out of this. Um, you guys are gonna, Africa is one of the poorest countries in the world, and I feel bad for the people of Mozambique that are not properly prepared for this. And my advice to people that actually can watch this over in Mozambique, Africa, just go. If you are able to get out, just go. Um, I want you guys to be safe. I want you guys to be informed with, not only me, but anybody else doing videos on YouTube, or, people that are, broadcasting on news centers, news networks, whatever. I want you guys to be safe and being able to watch those while the storm is taking its course. This is just Mother Nature, balancing itself out. Um, and like somebody like Mark Sutherland said, if we don't have hurricanes, cyclones, or typhoons, we'd probably have something much worse. So, we just gotta grit our teeth, bear with it, and hope that everything turns out okay. Anyways, that's gonna be it for me for today. I'm gonna have another video update on this tomorrow, or maybe tonight. I don't know yet. But anyways, you guys take care. Get yourself, guys, get stuff sorted, completed, and stay safe. And I'll see you guys on the next one.